Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, y'all. Back for another live stream. My name is Justin Moore, founder of Creator Wizard. For those of you who are new here, I help you find and negotiate your dream sponsorship so that you stop leaving thousands on the table. Please let me know where you're tuning in from. It is a beautiful day here in the San Francisco Bay Area, which is where I live with my family. We are live on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch. I don't even know where else, but stoked to be here because we're talking about an interesting topic today, which is how to reprogram your money mindset. Okay. This is a topic that's near and dear to my heart because one of the things that I have learned over the years is that the way in which we were raised really impacts how we feel about money. And so I've never really seen this topic discussed in the lens of being a creator. And so I wanted to do that today. So we've got Timotheo and Bryce dropping in on the YouTube chat. Let me pull up the Instagram chat. Let's see if what is going on here. Let me see. There it is. I found it. We've got Yeshua. We've got Paleo Pado tuning in on IG. We got Candy Jenner tuning in on TikTok. Hey, bestie, here from the FYP. What's up, Candy? Thanks for tuning in. We've got Oreo Consumer. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. So again, how to reprogram your money mindset. Are y'all ready for this? Remember, I am going to talk a little bit at the beginning here around this topic, but this is going to be a Q&A eventually. So I really do want to answer your questions around sponsorships, negotiating, brand deal strategy, as I do every single week. So please drop any questions you have in the chat, and I will absolutely get to them for sure. Okay. All right. So let's talk about your relationship with money. Okay. Recently, I was thinking about how much my core identity as an adult was shaped by my upbringing. And I'm not talking about eating Lucky Charms in front of the TV while watching cartoon reruns. Don't judge me. Okay. No, I'm talking about how I feel about cold, hard cash, right? The kind that doesn't jiggle, but folds. So money impacts our relationships, our careers, and especially our thoughts, our fears, and insecurities. Not to mention if you grew up in a surrounding where money was tight or taboo to discuss. And any of you have that experience, right? Where you were growing up, it was like really not something you talked about in your family or your friends, or it was just like, or you could sense growing up that things were tough, right? I get it. I totally do. So as creators, somehow we have found ourselves in this situation where we're negotiating paid partnerships with brands, often saddled with tremendous personal baggage and little to no experience with how to value our creative work. How the heck did that happen? Well, the good news is that our relationship with money is malleable, but it takes conscious effort to retrain your mind. So today I want to talk about how to do that, okay? So firstly, I in no way am intending to trivialize your childhood if it was challenging, right? Or tell you that the way you think about money is wrong. But according to Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money, which is an incredible book, by the way, it's nearly impossible to ignore the impact of past experiences on your current outlook. So whether you're a YouTuber or an Instagram influencer or a TikTok superstar, the amount of money that you can begin to unlock is going to seem ludicrous by any conventional metric, right? I mean, imagine being paid thousands of dollars for making a couple of posts where all you've got to do is mention a brand's name a few times, right? So, for those of us who grew up modestly, I mean, this makes negotiating sponsorships an absolute minefield, right? It's so easy to immediately compare a sponsorship offer to a normal job and think, well, I should just take this deal, right? I would have had to work 4 entire weeks in the past to make the same money. But you have to remember that being a creator is not a normal job, right? It requires a very unique skill set and tenacity that honestly most people will never have. And so the preconceptions that you have about how much money you ought to be paid for something just aren't relevant. It's not like a corporate 9-to-5 where, promotions and raises happen once every year. You can literally give yourself a raise with every new sponsorship if you get better at this stuff. And sadly, some brands will jump at the chance to exploit creators who don't realize their own worth, right? Especially creators who find it hard to push back, even if they think they're not getting a fair deal, right? After all, it's easy to feel like, you're lucky they even contacted you when they could have picked someone else, right? Or you might upset the brand and scare them off. Or maybe, you feel like you're being greedy by asking for too much. But here's the deal. Reversing these insecurities comes down to a mindset shift about money itself. Earning money is not evil. It's not a bad thing. It just depends what you choose to do with it. See, as a creator, money allows you to continually make better content, to expand your business, to feed your family. It also allows you to do good for others. Like, my wife, April, and I literally gave away thousands of dollars to our followers when the pandemic started because, we wanted to help families who were struggling. If you scale that up, you get creators like Mr. Beast, who gives away millions of dollars, right? Delivers free food to areas in need, builds homes in underdeveloped countries, all with the money that he earns from YouTube. Right, there's this book that my wife absolutely loves. It's called How to Be a Badass Making Money, right? And that's not the exact title. I need to actually remember the exact title. Hold on. It is called, You Are a Badass at Making Money. The original book is called You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, and she has a new one, actually it's not new, it was like 5 years ago. It's called You Are a Badass at Making Money. And it's a great book, actually. I would really recommend it. It's just, goes back to this whole idea of kind of like reprogramming the way in which you think about money. And especially as a creator, like we've been talking about, it's just so critical. So I humbly implore you to reset your relationship with money. You have to tell yourself, I have worth. What I am doing is valuable to these brands. If I wasn't bridging the gap between a brand and my audience, how difficult would it be for them to reach new customers? Right? So resetting your relationship also means realizing that sometimes money will go out, not in. Right? It means seeing the money you spend on growing your creator business as an investment, not a cost. It means giving back to the community that helped you to get to where you are today. And so the moment you stop seeing money as a resource that you don't deserve, you'll start to gain the confidence to ask brands to pay you your worth. Then the good you can do with that money is only as finite as your imagination. So that's my little topic that I wanted to talk about today. Again, we had Kanika in the chat saying, what is the topic of the discussion? And it's reprogramming your money mindset, right? Understanding how we were all raised and how that can impact our confidence negotiating with brands, our confidence collaborating with other people, our confidence, figuring out how to make investments in our own business to grow, right? And so Molly in the chat said, Happy Pocket Full of Money is another good book about money mindset. That is a great one. I'm going to write that one down. Thank you, Molly. That was a really good one. I would love to hear some of your stories in the chat. If you could drop it in there. We've got a Paul Jameson in the chat, Tech Audit TV, Nurtab, Brandon in the chat said, question, will this reprogramming require knowledge of JavaScript? No, it will not, Brandon. Very good question. This is a different type of reprogramming, which happens up here. Although there's lots of neurons obviously up there, but no coding knowledge necessary to reprogram your money mindset, Brandon. We got Paul in the chat. Paul, I'm excited to chat with you. Paul hired me for another one-on-one coaching session later today, so I'm excited to do that, Paul, and chat with you. We've got Daniel Gacci in the IG chat. What's up, Daniel? Let's see here. Let's dive into a few quick questions. Danica just tuned in on TikTok and she said, "Hey, Justin, I just logged in for a quick question. Is there a difference between a repurpose fee versus a buyout?" What I believe, so a repurpose fee is where they want to use your content in other ways, right? So you post the content on your platform, and then they want to, let's say, repost it on their Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or whatever, or maybe they want to run paid ads with your content. So that's what a repurposing fee would be. A buyout, in my mind, typically means that they are buying out exclusivity for you. So a buyout would mean that they do not want you to work with their competitors for a certain time period. So they are buying out your inventory, or you're buying out your, this ad that you're putting into your video or whatever for a certain duration. So there could be a buyout, an in-video buyout, meaning that you're not talking about any competitive brands in that piece of content, or there could be a buyout for a longer period. So you make the partnership with the brand, you make the video or series of videos, but then you also don't talk about their competitors for a certain duration. So without seeing the exact contractual language, I would have to see to know, but that to me, like a buyout, that's what I think about when I hear a buyout. Yep, you got it, Danica. Let's see. Daniel Gacci says, "What tool are you using to stream on all platforms at once?" Daniel, I am using Restream. That is I absolutely love Restream. I've been, full disclosure, I'm a Restream affiliate. So you can actually try it out for free. You can go to the info box of my YouTube video and I have a link there. It's like a free trial. So definitely check it out. I'm streaming on, 8 different platforms or something right now. Allows me to download a high-res version of the live stream. You probably have noticed that I have started repurposing my live stream. So I download the live stream from Restream, and then I'm able to edit that up, chop it up. My Russell on my team is amazing. He chops it up into, maybe 10 to 15 different, for an hour-long live stream. We usually get around 10 to 20 short form content from that, which we then chop up. We use the script to add captions and all that stuff. And then we put them on TikTok and Instagram Reels and so on. So it's become like a really, really useful strategy for me. Those pieces of content that are like repurposed from my live streams actually do really well on like my shorts and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been an awesome investment. And just like also when I interview people, it's so awesome. I send them the Restream link, and then I'm able to do all these different camera angles, share my screen, and so on. So it's dope. All right, Danica just sent me a mic. What does that mean, Danica? What is happening? Danica just said, "Just became a top 1 viewer." I have no idea what it means to send me a mic. Is that a good thing? I hope it's a good thing. I think it's like maybe a little gift or something. So thank you. I appreciate that very much. All right, let's see. What is happening here? My screen just, oh my God, I'm sorry on TikTok. My screen is moving. What on earth is going on? All right, Logan, we got Logan from Favorite Finds in the TikTok chat. He said, "Do you repurpose Amazon Lives with Restream?" No, we do not. We currently are not repurposing our Amazon Lives really at all, although it is something that we have been thinking about. Like, because we film, for those of you guys who don't know, like Amazon Live is basically QVC for creators. And so it allows my wife and I, we go live every week to talk about products. And there's a live shopping carousel below the video. And if a user clicks out, you can actually add the product to cart. And if people check out, we get a commission off that. So it's been something we've been doing for almost 2 years now. And so what we do is we actually pre-film B-roll, pre-film footage of all the products that we're going to be talking about every week. And so we have, 20 to 40 clips every week of items, but we only use them for our live streams as well as shoppable videos on Amazon. But I literally was just having this conversation with my wife, Logan, with my wife, April. And then I was saying, Logan, I'm addressing you. My wife's name is not Logan. I was addressing Logan. Anyways, I was thinking like we literally should be like repurposing these on TikTok, or like to my wife. I was like, you should upload these. These are already so awesome. So anyways, that was that was the answer. Hopefully that's the answer, Logan. But yeah, it's something I want to want to do. Molly says, when do you go live on Amazon? I've always been curious to watch one. Well, Molly, guess what? We are doing a sponsored live stream with Ziploc on Tuesday. We have 2 live streams, a double header that we're doing. So if you want to, I was thinking I'm going to post these in my private circle community because I think people are always curious, like, how do you actually do a sponsorship on Amazon Live? And so I think I might post those in the community so people can watch them and see how we do them. But of course I'm going to forget to do that. Let me make a note, because if I don't make a note, I'm not going to remember. Post Ziploc live streams in circle community. I have the worst memory. I'm really excited though, y'all, because I just bought a Notion template to organize my life. For those of you who like are Notion fans, I follow this guy named Thomas Frank. He's like the Notion guru, and he has this like Notion template called the Ultimate Brain that allows you to kind of like organize your entire life. And so I literally just bought it this morning, and so I'm like really excited to dig into it and like organize my life, organize my creator business, everything, right? So I'm really excited about that. Let's see. We've got Break Even Books in the chat. We've got Paul Jameson. Thou Shall Prosper by Daniel Lapin is a phenomenal book about money mindset. Thank you. We're getting so many of these gems. I'm going to write that down. Thou Shall Prosper. I want to like collect all these because I love books like this. Thou Shall Prosper, Daniel Lapin. And then Molly said Pockets Full of Money, I think it was called. I might have to DM you about that, Molly, because I think that was it. Molly asked in the chat, Justin, what helped you switch your money mindset? Well, so I would say that for me, the biggest shift for me about money throughout my life has been the realization that not everyone believes the same. For a long time, I thought that like, oh yeah, everyone is like wants to be an entrepreneur and like, has these really ambitious dreams of like, being really successful and making lots of money. And it wasn't until I entered kind of my traditional 9-to-5 at the beginning of my career where I realized that just simply wasn't the case. I think when we're growing up, it's like, as a kid and as a teen, it's like you're thinking about yourself and your worldview, and it's like hard to kind of really understand and empathize with how it, like if someone wants a different path, right? And so it wasn't until I, got into the corporate world where I really realized that like people find fulfillment and happiness doing lots of other things. And a lot of the time it has nothing to do with being ambitious professionally or wanting to make a lot of money. And that was a very humbling thing for me. And it really gave me a lot of peace with realizing that everyone, wants different things out of life, and that's totally okay. And so my money mindset like was totally shifted then, because I realized that, there's so many other ways to find happiness and fulfillment in life. And just because I'm like super ambitious, like it's totally okay for other people not to be, right? And by the way, like they can be ambitious in other things that aren't professional. Maybe they're ambitious creatively or artistically, or, nurturing and raising a family, or like there's all these other ways in which you can be very ambitious as a person. And so it's like, I think that that was like a big, lesson for me, candidly, and has really shaped how I view money and how I can contribute to the world and how I can give back and all this stuff. So I would say that it was kind of like shifting from my youth into adulthood was really the shift for me. I grew up in a solidly middle class family. My dad was an engineer working with computers since as long as I can remember. My mom has her master's in public health, so she was a registered dietitian for my whole life. But interestingly, there was this really formative time in my life where my parents actually got bitten by the entrepreneurial bug, and they bought several Supercuts franchises. So if you know Supercuts, it's like a haircutting franchise. And so they at one point owned they owned 3 franchises around the Bay Area. And man, it was like super stressful, like for my family, just in terms of juggling the franchises and just like seeing, what that was like to actually run a business. I was still pretty young. I was like 8 to 10. My parents ultimately did get divorced around when I was 12. And so, they exited the business around that time, which is a whole other story. But, it really did shape I think for me, I was like, seeing my parents running this business and like, doing pretty well and, just shifting from kind of this traditional corporate job to being an entrepreneur and all this stuff. So that really did. And so from an early age, I think as a result, I was always like trying to like, I like would do car washes, I would like, put out a sign on our main drag in our neighborhood. And like, I was young, like 8, 9. Like I think my son Liam is 8 now. And I think back, I was that age when I was doing these car washes, and I was like making pretty good money for like an 8-year-old kid. I would recruit my classmates from grade school. And like this is what we would do every single weekend. And it was just like, there's a whole other story. But yeah, I mean, it was like always from an early age, I was like, I'm going to do this. I want to make money. I want to make money. It was always like, I want to buy something. I want to like buy a Nintendo, or I want to do this. And I like I didn't have any other ways other than like allowance to like get these big purchases. And so I think my parents really enforced that, or not enforce that, but like encourage that idea to like, hey, if you want to, we're not going to buy this for you. So like, if you want to, you have to figure out a way to make money if you want to buy this. And so that was always my upbringing. It was never, things were never really like given to me in that regard. So I think I carried that into adulthood. And like when I think about now how those lessons have impacted my creator journey, it's really interesting because when you're a creator, like when you're in a corporate job, you are given a trajectory. It's like, hey, if you want to like become a, associate manager or manager or director, or you want to like advance in your career, here's the track that you have to take. You have to put in this many years. You have to have this much experience. You have to go and get back and get professional certifications and like boom, boom, boom. Right. But so if you want to do those, here's the goals that you have to meet or whatever. Your boss gives you those, right? You have no choice, right? Here, this is what you have to do. But when you're a creator and you're running your own business, who gives you the goals? It's you. You have to make up your own goals and objectives for your own life and career. And that's why it's, I think, a really hard transition for a lot of creators to figure out like, like, what do I want from my life and career in 10 years, right? Like, where do I want to be? Do I want to grow this big company? Do I want to have employees? Do I want to start a product line that lives apart from me so I can stop making content eventually? And also like, circling it back to this whole idea around money mindset, that really plays a role in these decisions because, if you have a scarcity mindset around like, well, yeah, but what happens if things go south and I'm not able to like pay my employees, wages, or if I'm, this separate business that I create doesn't work out, like what then? Right. Whereas if you, don't have that scarcity mindset and you have one of abundance, it's like, okay, yeah, you'll maybe take the risk and that might happen. It might fail. I mean, it's a great example. Like if you watch the video I released, a week and a half ago around shutting down my influencer marketing agency, right? Like a lot of people could have had that tremendous abject failure and said, you know what, that's it. Wash my hands. I can never do something like that again because I'm too traumatized. There's too much trauma associated with everything that went down. And believe me, it was really traumatizing. But my personality is just I always, even though I was at like my lowest, there was some really, really low times that I had. I always in the back of my mind knew I was like, I will learn something from this. This is a stepping stone along the way of me getting to where I'm supposed to be. And in fact, like, look what happened. Like, I could never have started creating this content that I do to educate creators had I not had that experience running the agency. Because that is a big reason why people find the advice and the expertise that I provide so valuable, is that I'm able to provide this other alternative, experience and say, hey, yeah, I've been a creator for 10 years, but I've also run an agency for a long time. And I understand why brands and agencies are passing on you and saying, no, you know what? We're not going to work with this creator anymore. Right. And so that's the perspective that I bring. And I never would have been able to do that had I not had this experience, even though it turned out into a failure. It ultimately did not work out. I can't tell you how liberating it feels to talk about this now, guys, because I felt, I got to be honest, like I felt really nervous to make that video last like 2 weeks ago because of this very reason. I felt like, man, people follow me because I run this agency and because I have this other, perspective, that others don't. And so I was really worried. Like, man, what are people gonna like? Are people still gonna find my expertise valuable? Or like, is this?
Hi, honey.
Hey, baby.
Hi.
Oh, Boo. Come here. Come sit on my lap. You look so pretty. Dang.
It's not failure. It's a learning lesson. It's a stepping stone. Ain't nobody here failing, okay?
Thank you, Boo.
Put some respect on your name. You work real hard to get to where you are.
Dang.
Okay,
come here. Oh.
While I was doing my makeup. Obsessed with my hubby.
Thank you, Boo. Thank you, Boo. How are you? You look so pretty.
Oh. Thank you.
You don't want to sit on my lap though?
Go to home.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Come here.
I'm going to Home Depot.
Yeah.
Go to Lowe's.
They can't hear you. I know because of the microphone probably, but
Bye, friend.
Love you, honey. Have fun.
Oh, I'm not leaving yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting for her to call me.
Okay. Yeah. Love you. We got the April cameo today. My wife is like my biggest hype woman. I don't know what I would do without her, but it's and there's so much. Like the other thing is like didn't really even talk about this much in the video, but like when a failure happens business-wise, like that puts a lot of stress on a marriage, on a relationship, right? Because it's like, there's a lot that you have to give up when you're a partner. And your partner is like building a business, right? Those of you who maybe have maybe you could probably relate, like as a creator, if you have, partners who, are believing in you and you're out there, you have this dream about making an income, being a creator, and you're out there hustling. And like, there's probably lots of late nights and weekends that you're doing this stuff. You're hustling on the side. Maybe you still have a full-time job, and your partner, your girlfriend, your spouse, your fiance, your partner, whatever, they have to like, they're giving up something too, because if you weren't focused on this content creation stuff, maybe you'd be out, watching TV with them or like going to the movies or like doing all this stuff. Right. And so, yeah, that the toll of like building a business, like April knows firsthand, like the toll that what she had to give up, and the business trips that I would go on, literally fly out, have all these meetings with agencies where she was watching the kids, and like it's a lot on a partner to do that. And so for my business to fail and to look at that as though all that was for nothing, it's really hard. I can't tell you. It's been so hard. Right. And so, I think a lot of you can probably relate to that, where it's like, you have this fear that like, man, will I ever make this content creation thing work? Will I ever, make the money that I hope, I make one day? And then will all this work have been for nothing? Right. So it's like, I get it. I've been there. And I just want you to hear that, like, this is a normal thing. Maybe you have felt like this is not something that anyone else goes through, but believe me, everyone goes through this, right? Because there's always this period of time in the beginning where it's like, I don't know if this is going to work out for me. Right. And so, yeah, my wife, April, she's like my rock. Like man, I can't tell you. It's like, I can't, sorry. I'm really lucky to have her. Let's put it that way. Like, she's been, sorry, it's like emotional for me. Okay. Whew, where were we? Yeah, but like April said, and Kanika said, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Kanika or Kanika said, your business didn't fail. You transitioned into a new phase of your journey. Yeah, and that's 100% right. Like that's like, the ultimate lesson of all this is that, like, I turned around, I took all of those insights that I learned from being a creator, still a creator, we're doing lots of deals. Just signed one today, by the way. Boom. And then turned around and used that, expertise and advice, to help all y'all. And so I really do, believe in that it is my duty to educate the next generation of creators. And so I'm so stoked for that to be the next step of my journey. So those of you out there who are wondering whether this is going to turn into what you hope it will, I just want you to hear that even if it doesn't, it will have been worth it, because there's no other path that you could have taken to get you to where you are, because you will always be learning, right? It's that saying that we always talk about, right? Which is that you're never failing. You're always learning. You either win or you learn, right? Okay. Let's answer some more questions, y'all. Let's see. Okay. Brandon from Tech Audit TV says, I recently have been trying to sell sponsored shorts and kept being told the price was too high. Just when I was about to lower my pricing 2 brands paid it, no problem. Huge validation. Brandon, I am so proud of you. It's the thing we talked about in my course over and over and over, and in a lot of my content. It's not no, it's not yet, right? And even if you are feeling like you're hitting a brick wall, okay, what is happening? It says, oops, something happened to the connection. Please stand by while we are restoring your connection. Can you see me? I hope you can see me. It says, I don't know if this is working. I hope it is. Please let me know in the chat if you can still see me, because Restream is telling me, oops, something happened. Please let me know. That would be very awesome if you could let me know. Is it good? Yes? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Please let me know. All right, you're back. Okay, I'm good. But yeah, like you said, Brandon, it feels like you're hitting up against a wall, and then finally you burst through like the Kool-Aid man, like through the brick wall. That's like such an amazing feeling. So congratulations, man. Okay, there was another question that I wanted to answer. All right, Break Even Books says, I am a book creator, and I find that most brands want to do a free book as a form of promotion, but they rarely want to pay for influencer marketing. Any suggestions on how to motivate them to pay for it? Interesting. So when you're saying brand, is this like a publisher, or is this a individual author that is like trying to get you to promote their book for free? Because if it is a individual author, here's a couple ideas for you. So, as creators, oftentimes we think that the only way that a brand or some entity would compensate us is if we talk about them on our platform, right? On Break Even Books YouTube channel, right? Because that's the platform that we built. But if you take a step back and look at what you have done by becoming, a book creator and having influence in this space, is that you now understand what it takes to be influential in this particular category, right? So people now follow you for your expertise or your influence around, your knowledge, the way in which you break down, a narrative, or, you break down the different acts in a book or whatever, right? Like they follow you for that reason. Okay. And you have now cracked the code of what it actually takes to create compelling content on social media that breaks through, right? And so when you are approached by a potential brand or a potential author or whatever that actually, or a publisher that wants you to help get more notoriety around their book, what you can sell to them, oftentimes what would be way more compelling is not to talk about them on your channel. What your pitch could be is like, let me help you create a marketing strategy to drive word of mouth and grassroots support for your novel or for your book. And so you turn this into a productized offering. So you say, I am going to help you. This is going to be a 3-month or a 6-month process. I'm going to help you figure out, all the different, book podcasts that you should pitch. Here's all the different book channels that you could try to, get an interview on. Here is, you should do readings in your local community. You should do blah, 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 blah. Here is the marketing plan. It is a 3-month marketing plan. It's going to be $5,000. Yeah, part of it maybe means I'm talking about on my channel. That's like just a small component, but it's going to be $5,000 for me to help you generate this buzz around your book. $5,000. You want to get from here to here? You want to build buzz? Here's what it's going to take. And your channel at that point is your credibility, that you know what you're talking about and you know what you're doing. Right? And so that's just a small random idea I had off the top of my head, how you can parlay your expertise growing a channel in your niche into significant income for yourself. Because oftentimes I would imagine that these authors or these publishers or whatever who are coming to you, they're coming to you because they haven't figured it all out. Otherwise, they would be doing it themselves. Right? And so there's all these different ways that you can provide value beyond just you talking about it on your page. So this is just a quick idea. Publishers, indie authors, hopefully that's helpful, because that's kind of where my mind goes with this type of stuff. Because again, they have, at the end of the day, their goal is to sell more books, right? So if you can provide to them a plan, a strategy, where you say, if you do these things, it's going to result in all likelihood, a 2x return, or you're going to sell this many more books or whatever. Let me know your thoughts on that, because that's where my mind goes, honestly. Because again, you saying, hey, I'm going to talk about you on my channel. It's going to, and them probably doing the math in their head, and they're thinking, okay, well, like how many novels is this? How many incremental sales is this going to generate for the book? That's where their mind is. If we have to pay Break-Even Books to talk about this. So put yourself in their shoes. How can you put together a proposal for them where they say, oh, I get it. I get why I have to pay money for this, because they're going to help me. They're going to give me this checklist of all the things. Maybe you're going to do some of this stuff. Maybe they're going to do some of this stuff. And it's like, but you're giving them the strategy and the plan to actually take them from point A to point B. Right? Like I just made a tweet about this the other day. I charge $1,000. It's an $1,000 investment per hour for my coaching, for sponsorship coaching. And people have asked me, like, are you joking? Like, why would anyone pay you $1,000 for 1 hour to talk about it? And the reason is that I represent a shortcut for someone to get to where they want to be. For example, someone will come to me with a deal in hand that they're currently negotiating. And I literally, just an example, I literally helped a creator turn a $5,000 deal into a $10,000 deal in 30 minutes. I gave them they said, here's where we're at. Like, I really want to do this, but like, the budget's low. Like, how would you help me get to there? And I said, say this thing, do this, say these things. And surprise, surprise, in 10 minutes after that email, they got the deal. Right. And so it's like, that is a shortcut rather than aimlessly wandering and watching videos and reading blog posts and like doing all this stuff, yada, yada, yada. Hey, Justin, $500 for 30 minutes, got a 10x return. So you extrapolate that for your own creator business. Like, what are the things that you can productize in this way? So even though you have built up, maybe you're only in your mind, you're thinking, I'm just like creating content. Like, I've never done coaching. I've never done, anything like this. So why would anyone pay me for that? Okay, fine. Yet. No one's paid you for that yet. Break-Even Book says, I really appreciate that answer. That is pretty helpful and gave me some ideas to move forward with. Love to hear it. He said, I currently run book tours for people where I organize a bunch of people to talk about the book, but this is giving me more ideas on how I can branch out further with that. Boom. One thing that I have found is that's the reason that I love doing these live streams, why I love going on podcasts with people, why I love just talking with people, because I always I have this mindset where every single interaction that I have with someone, I want to leave feeling 1% smarter and having impacted the other person, having improved their life in some small way, 1%. Right? And so what I hope this was for you, Break-Even Books, was that maybe this interaction right now changes the entire trajectory of your creator journey. That to me gives me goosebumps. That's some small random thing I've never met you. I've never seen your channel. I'm so glad to have connected now, but I've never seen you before. And maybe this very small interaction changes your life in some profound way. That is what I live for. That is what I wake up every day and get so excited to do, because that has happened to me before. Someone has said like a random throwaway thing, and I was like, you know what? That's a really good idea. I'm going to try that. Right? So yeah, hopefully this helps. So please, I really, really circle back with me in 30 days, 60 days, please. Break-Even Books. Let me know if you execute on this and what happens. Bryce from the Root Group said, that was a giant gem drop right there. Thank you, Bryce. So great to hear from you, man. Logan just said, I have purchased coaching with Justin. Would 100% do it again. Boom. Logan, I appreciate you, bro. We got web designer and branding expert. Heyo, what's going on in the TikTok chat? Breaking Bud said, I will definitely keep in touch and let you know. Ryan says, wow, you are live on LinkedIn too. I'm live everywhere, bro. The one place I did not go live today, I forgot to do this. I was going to try it, is in my private circle community, because I used to have a private Facebook group and it was like really easy to go live in there, but I haven't figured out a way where I can actually do it through Restream to go live straight in circle. I know there's a way, but I just haven't done it yet, and I need to start doing that. So those of you who are in my private circle group, I'm sorry, I should have done that. Whew. Okay. What are your questions, y'all? I did see one that I want to. Yeah. So again, if you're just tuning in now, we at the beginning of the live stream, we talked about how to reprogram your money mindset, which is so critical as a creator. And so if you missed that, absolutely go back and watch the replay of the live stream because it's important. This is super important stuff. And so please go ahead and do that. There was a question that I want to ask. Oh, Janet in YouTube said, I really want to get a one-on-one with you, Justin. The creator classes were already so beneficial. Awesome. Yeah, I would love to do that at any point. Please let me know, Janet. It was so great to work with you. The fashion photographer said, I need you in my life. All right, well, here I am. I am live streaming right now. We've got Daniela, who just joined on the TikTok chat, The Culture of Cookery, BB Lord. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. Okay, I'm going to find this question because there was a question on TikTok that I wanted to answer. But if you have any questions about negotiating, trying to pitch brands, please let me know. Okay. Oh, we got a good. This was the question. Thank you. I finally found it. Cecilia on TikTok said, advice for a multi-passionate entrepreneur. And so what I believe your question is like, what if you have a lot of interests? Everyone always says niche, 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 right? Like really go, narrow on a particular topic. And then, you'll find traction and all that stuff, right? And so I'm going to give you some tough love here, which is my belief on this, which is that, well, first of all, everyone is multi-passionate, right? We're not all one track. We don't all have like one track mind and we only think and talk about one particular thing or whatever all the time. We're all multifaceted people. We have diverse interests and we enjoy lots of different things. However, if you are trying to break through on something like social media where there is so much noise, it's really, really difficult if you are talking about lots and lots of different things, because there's lots and lots of people talking about these very niche subjects. And so let me walk you through how my evolution has happened, right? So I did start off very broad on, the giving education for creators and providing advice, where I was teaching people the business of being a creator. And that, I thought that was like specific enough, but clearly it wasn't, because lots and lots of people did not understand that and understand what that meant, how I could serve them, right? And it really ultimately took me doubling down on this niche of like, I am a sponsorship coach. That's the only thing I'm going to help you do, is I'm going to help you find and negotiate your dream sponsorships so that you stop leaving thousands on the table. Do you see how rehearsed that is? That's my one-liner. That's my elevator pitch. When you're a multi-passionate entrepreneur or creator and you say, oh, well, I love this and I love this and I love this, it's very, very difficult for people to put you in a box and be like, okay, well, how can that person help me? They like all these different things, but they're a jack of all trade or Jill of all trade. But it seems like they can't help me very much in any one particular area. And so I know that's frustrating, because it's like, well, yeah, but I like doing all these different things. And so what has happened for me is that I have spent about a year, roughly, really, really going hard on this niche of like sponsorships, like just for social media creators. And I have had this very interesting thing happen where, so like behind the curtain real quick, like my ideal creator persona, or like the people that I believe would be best for my content and my courses and coaching and everything, for the last year and a half has been creators between, let's say, 10,000 and 150,000 followers on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. That's it. Because those are the people who are, perhaps not big enough yet to have a full-time manager or someone on their team handling all their business, but they are still making money. Those people need guidance. Those people need mentorship. I'm their guy. That's the gap I'm going to fill. And that has been my niche for a long time, and it's worked really well. But what has started to happen over the last, 6 months, I would say, is I have gotten inundated with people following me, DMing me, joining my newsletter, who are, I would say, not that audience. It is the people who have owned platforms, meaning podcasters, newsletter authors, bloggers, people who have built their business not on a social platform, right? Like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and so on. And so I've started and so these people would reach out to me and say, hey, I really want to take your course, but you're saying on the sales page that it's not for me. You're saying it's only for TikTok, Instagram, Amazon, or whatever. I really want to take it. Can I still take it? And I would be very transparent. I would say, you know what, honestly, 75% of the course is going to be very, very useful for you, right? Weeks 1, which is all about pitching. Weeks 2, which is all about pricing and negotiating. Week 4, which is all about nurturing brands and long-term partnerships. But week 3 is all about executing social media campaigns. That's what I said. I said, I just want to be full disclosure here, right? You absolutely have my blessing if you want to participate, but you just have to know this, right? And a lot of people have signed up and ultimately signed up, made that choice, and gotten a lot of value from it. And same thing, like I've done a lot of one-on-one sessions with people who are these, you know, kind of owned platform creators. And I ultimately did realize, like, the strategies that I'm teaching, my frameworks, my methodologies are universal. Whether you built your audience on social or you have an own platform. And the other interesting thing is that pretty much almost everyone has a combination of the two, right? Almost all podcasters have like Instagrams, right? Or, you know, a lot of TikTokers now have newsletters or whatever, right? So there's this very interesting cross-pollination thing happening. And so for the longest time, I was resisting this idea of catering to, you know, owned audience, you know, owned platform creators, because I didn't want to water down my niche. I wanted to stay niche. But what I have realized is that because I have seen the traction already, because I focused in on this one particular niche, I am now making the decision to make this next cohort of Brand Deal Wizard the most inclusive yet. And so what that means is that it actually was my copywriter, Perna, who I was working with on redesigning the sales page, the sales copy for the next cohort of the course, talking through this like challenge. And she just said something to me that completely changed my mindset. She basically said, Justin, like, you are depriving a whole huge chunk of people from your expertise, and you are preventing them from transforming their businesses and lives by making this choice to exclude them. And I never looked at it that way. I always was just like, no, I want to like serve these people very specifically. And so once she said that to me, I was like, that's so right. Like, why am I doing this? Like, it is not going to be that difficult for me to go back to the collateral in my programs and in my courses and all this thing to be more inclusive, to provide more examples of other coaching that I've done, helping podcasters and helping newsletter authors monetize and all these things. It is going to be valuable. And you know, the other thing that's so exciting to me, I'm so excited about it because I now get to talk about how important it is to diversify your business to have both owned platforms and social platforms as part of your business, right? Because if you're a TikToker, if you're a YouTuber, you need to have a newsletter, right? Hi, baby.
Sorry, you got my ID. I've been driving around without my ID the whole time.
Okay, baby. Love you. Drive safely, okay? Ooh. Ooh, giving a show. That was like, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I love you too. Drive safely. So where was I? Got distracted by that awesome kiss. I got distracted by the awesome kiss. But so I am so excited about this idea that I can now bestow this idea to both creators who have built their businesses on social, as well as other creators who have built their businesses on owned platforms, how important it is to have both, to be able to negotiate with brands and provide compelling proposals for sponsorships. If you're a podcaster, I can also do Instagram Reels. You know, if I'm a TikToker, I can also do a newsletter blast, right? And how important it is to have both of those things and to be able to interact with other creators in your cohort who have built their businesses in that way. So I'm so excited, guys. And as a result of this decision, though, there's going to be some changes to the next cohort of Brand Deal Wizard. The first structural change is that we're going to be adding more sessions to the course and bringing in guest speakers. So previously, the structure of the course was, it's a 4-week course, and I was doing live instruction once a week for about an hour and a half. So there's live instruction with Q&A at the end. And then there was office hours with D, who is our community and programs manager. So that was essentially twice a week. And then we did guest sessions last cohort to test that out too. And so the structural change that we're going to be, and the office hours were optional, by the way. They were not recorded. It was like, hey, just kind of come hang out, kind of ask your questions. But with this structural change where it's going to be more inclusive, there's going to be other types of creators in it. We have now made the decision that they're not going to be office hours anymore. There are going to be actual mandatory sessions, or, we hope you show up, about mindset topics related to sponsorship strategy, right? So it's going to be now twice a week with guest sessions. So it's going to be a lot. It's going to be an intensive 4-week cohort. And so there is, the other kind of really important announcement about the next cohort is that the investment for the course is actually going to be increasing to $3,000. And the reason that we're doing that is obviously infrastructure related, right? Because we're doubling the amount of sessions now. And well, actually might even be more than that. And we're also going to be capping enrollment next cohort to 50. So last cohort, we had 58 creators, and this next cohort, we're going to be capping it at 50 so that we can, I honestly, like me and Dee and the team, we want to ensure that we provide the most value in this course, right? We love answering questions during like live Q&A, and we want to ensure that this is an intimate experience, in these cohorts. The other reason too is that going back to this whole kind of like intentional life design idea is that we had 58 creators last cohort. And if I look at the trajectory of the course, right, the first cohort had 3, then 5, then 7, then 16, then 42, 58 last time, right? So it's like, if you look at that like hockey stick, like it's very, very possible that we could have blown past next cohort. And so the repercussion as a business owner means that I have to support that leaders, 100 creators asking multi in like infrastructure for that type of growth and transformations, which is my number one priority, by the way. It's not growing enrollments. Like I care. Like I want to have every year that goes through this program to have an absolutely incredible transformation, right? So all of these decisions means that I actually don't want that. It's way more exciting and impactful to work with a small cohort of people and ensure that they have amazing outcomes. And so, yeah, it's a big change, but one that I feel is the prudent one for all the students who choose to invest in it and for my own sanity, right? It seems like we're having connection issues again. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. Hopefully you can. I am still here. Okay. Let's see. Did people lose me somehow? I don't know. Am I still here, guys? Did you hear me? I don't know. Paul says, Break Even Book says, it was choppy for a bit, but back now. Okay. Well, thank you for the update. I don't know what's going on with my internet, man. I wish that I had fiber in my area, but I do not. I literally have the highest possible tier of internet, and I go on these live streams and I have these moments where they go in and out, which is so annoying. But anyways, it's just the way it is, I guess. What did you not hear me say? I don't know. Like, I'm sorry. That's so annoying. Anyways, Paul says, I have done 2 coaching calls with Justin and they have helped me earn so much more. I appreciate that so much, man. Absolutely love working with you. By the way, Paul, you've become my new favorite example of like an absolutely amazing niche creator who is like killing it. I've like talked about you on multiple podcasts now. I literally talked about you yesterday. So yeah, it's just been awesome to work with you, man. All right. We got Girlfriend Getaway Guy tuning in. Sundays with Emily. Deborah, Wood and Home Accents. Thanks for tuning in. We did lose you very briefly, like 5 seconds. Okay. But I'm back now. I am back now. Well, let's do a hooray for that. Let's do a hooray, or maybe a money sign. I just bought a label maker so I could label my little buttons here. So I can't even remember what all of them are, but hopefully that that one works. Molly says all these updates to the BDW make me want to take the course again. Oh man, Molly, I'm so excited about these next cohorts, because it's going to be absolutely incredible. Like it is going to be. I already believe it's the single best course out there to learn about sponsorship strategy, but it is, with the changes that we're going to be making, it's like, I have no doubt. Like, you know, it's funny. Like when you have such a single-minded goal to create just hands down the best education or the best thing, you're in a completely blue ocean, right? And this applies to like creating content. I think as a creator, if you're just so singularly focused on like being the best in your niche, in your field or whatever, you literally have no competition, right? I literally do not think twice about, like, there's lots of creator coaches out there and all this stuff, but it's just like, no one is doing what I'm doing because I am in my own lane. I literally truly believe that. And also because I have an abundance mindset around this stuff, I believe that there needs to be lots and lots of people educating creators. It's not just me. I can't educate every single creator on the planet. This whole massive tidal wave, next generation of creators who need help and guidance with this stuff. So I am always going to have my own tribe. Other people will have their own tribe, and that's totally okay. Like, this space is big enough for everyone, right? And again, that, you know, I did a newsletter blast about this like last week or the week before, blog posts and so on, about this idea around like comparing yourself to other creators is going to limit your opportunities. Because what is the first thing that's going to happen when you see another creator getting a deal? A lot of creators have been like, oh, how dare they get a deal? That was my deal. They don't even eat at Chipotle or whatever, right? It's like, no, like the first thing a brand is going to think when they partner successfully with the creator is, who else can I partner with? So the same holds true for being a creator and really owning your niche, is that it's just a blue ocean of possibility for you to serve your followers, serve your audience, serve your customers down the line. So Girlfriend's Getaway Guide says, thanks for the valuable content. You are very welcome. Molly says, 100% agree. It was the best investment I made in my biz all year. Man, I appreciate that, Molly. You're just like a screenshot testimonial generating machine. Did you know, Molly? Molly, in the TikTok chat, Molly is the testimonial on my newsletter landing page. Molly is the testimonial on my newsletter landing page. Let me read it to you. Molly gave me a testimonial that I've had on my landing page. I have made over $17,000 from brand deals I found from Justin's newsletter. His list not only makes me money on a regular basis, but it also provides tips and information that saves me time and energy when pitching and working with brands. I cannot believe he gives all of this away for free. Molly, could I ask for a better testimonial on a newsletter landing page? I think not. Thank you, Molly. I appreciate that so much. And Molly made a testimonial saying that she quit her full-time job as a result of participating in Brand Deal Wizard. Anyways, if you're not on the newsletter, by the way, creatorwizard.com/join. What are you waiting for? I literally send you sponsorships every single week. Molly said, how did you know that being a testimonial generating machine is my life goal? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Makeup Jackie Love says, I cannot wait for the next course. Yes. Love to work with you. Love to have you in there. Molly says, it's true, folks. The newsletter is the real deal. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Brady, Tutor, you, what's up? Brady is a past alumni of Brand Deal Wizard as well. Thanks for tuning in. Asked a great question because Brady, it's funny. I literally just watched Colin and Samir's video interviewing Reed from Night Media, who is Mr. Beast's manager. And in the interview, he said, Mr. Beast's manager said, brand deals would disappear in bad economic times. Agree? So Brady, it's actually interesting because I wrote a blog post about my thought process on what happens during bad economic. I'm going to pull it up just so I can tell you what the title of it is to read it, because I really would encourage this. I did send it out in my newsletter as well. But the title of the article, if you go to creatorwizard.com, I have an article called Time to Focus, Not Freak Out. Okay. And so I wrote this maybe a month or two ago. And there's three main points that I want to make about this. This is a great topic to end on, which is that, number one, brands have not forgotten 2020. Okay. And so when COVID first hit, April and I were just like a story is like April and I were working on like several sponsorships, like around $40,000 total or so. And they just ground to a halt when COVID hit. Right. And we were freaking out. Right. We were like, oh my God. Right. Everyone else in the world, obviously, especially related to like the global health crisis. But after just a few weeks, we got an unexpected email from one of those brands. And they basically said, can we shift this campaign to talk about the new normal? Remember hearing that a lot around, early 2020, the new normal. Because brands quickly realized that they couldn't just stop advertising. So instead of demanding ads that required full production shoots, which were impossible, they turned to creators who could churn out amazing content from their bedrooms. And so fast forward to today, well, I guarantee you every major brand is knee deep in risk mitigation right now, right? They're figuring out, okay, how can we optimize our production budgets by working with influencers? That is looking mighty attractive right now, right? And so the second thing to think about is that a 9-to-5 job is stable until it's not. Oh, you're giving up a 6-figure job to be a YouTuber? Right. I still remember the looks my family and friends gave me when I quit my job in medical devices 8 years ago to go full-time as a creator. I mean, I kind of get it, right? Like on the surface, traditional jobs seem nice and secure, cushy, right? Steady paycheck, health benefits, 401k matching. So you put in the extra hours to make your boss happy. You reply to emails at night and on the weekends. You're just a model employee, right? Your company is surely going to remember all of that when things start getting rocky, right? So, in my view, the only way to ever truly protect yourself and your family financially is to be in control of your own destiny. And all it takes to start controlling your own destiny is to grow your revenue streams from one to more than one. Right? Okay, and so the third point that I want to mention quickly here is that creators who sorry, let me take a swig. Okay, the third point I want to mention here is that creators who can survive will ultimately thrive. Airbnb, Uber, Pinterest, Venmo, Slack, Square. What do you think all those companies have in common? No, it's not that all their stocks went down in the last couple months. It's that they were all started during the Great Recession of 2008. So my perspective, my point is that this should not be the time to freak out. This is a time to focus and identify opportunities that others might not. So you need to ask yourself, what revenue streams can I explore that could become meaningful for me in the next 6 to 12 months? Where am I making the most money right now as a creator? What would it take for me to 2x that in the next few months? Can I lock in any sponsors right now if I offer them maybe preferred pricing on longer term deals? What should I stop doing right now that is not contributing to my revenue or my audience growth? So with all that in mind, what are the 3 changes that you're going to make or new strategies that you're going to explore this week. Honestly, if there's one thing that I've learned over the last few years coaching hundreds of creators, it's that often this crazy thing that we all do on the internet can feel pretty lonely, right? So faced with an uncertain year, I hope this advice just helps you feel a little less alone. Because, brands may shrink their advertising budgets. They may, pull back on, longer term partnerships that you thought were a shoo-in. But I truly believe that it's fresh in their mind what happened during 2020 as the primary idea. And that's not going to change. Molly said, "Oh my gosh, FYI, your live stream ended on TikTok." Oh my God, it did. What happened? Why did my live stream end on TikTok? Oh, that sucks. Does it end after an hour? I don't know what happened. That's weird. But y'all, we're at time. Went over a little bit today, but I hope you enjoyed the live stream. Break Even Book said, "I just signed up for your newsletter." Boom. I am so stoked. If you have not signed up, creatorwizard.com/join. It is totally free. I email you twice a week. On Thursdays are the brand deal sponsorship opportunities email. And Monday is Mindset Mondays, where we talk about a topic related to being a creator and helping get out of our own head and be more confident. So hope you enjoyed the live stream, y'all. Thank you once again for tuning in every single week. This is always such a blast to be here. And I will see you. Today I have I have a coaching call. I have a 2-hour podcast I'm gonna do in about 40 minutes, and then I have another TikTok live stream that I'm doing later today. So I'm a glutton for pain. Clearly, what on earth am I doing? My voice is already starting to So I don't know. I try to line up all of my things on one day so that I can have deep focus work on other days. But I don't know. Today was a little insane. Anyways, have a wonderful weekend.